Hi everyone, welcome to the Gale International Film and TV Festival. Today we have Michal Bielawski, director of The Wind, a documentary thriller. Thank you for being with us today, Michal.
Hello, it's very nice to be with you, and I'm happy that we have our English premiere at your festival.
Oh yeah, the pleasure is all ours, I can tell you. Yeah, we absolutely love your film. I wanted to start by asking you what the film is about, so people who haven't watched it yet can get like a small synopsis of what's about.
The film is about people who are living in very specific part of Poland, and it is presenting their struggle with very powerful wind that is reappearing in that zone, in that area, several times per year. So it is presentation of people of that area. They are living in Polish mountains. And it is also a presentation story that follows several characters and their reaction to that wind. The wind is called Halny in Polish, and it's a fan type wind. So this wind, we can say that it changes people's behavior a lot.
Yeah, it's very impressive how that happens. I wonder what was the inspiration behind the film, especially because your previous film is so different, has such a different subject.
Inspiration came, the film came to me with producer. So that was Maciek Kubicki, the producer, concept to do it. It was in one night during Kraków Film Festival, which Kraków is very close to Tatra Mountains. Some people were drinking and thinking about how great it would be to make a movie about that powerful wind that is just haunting also city of Kraków. People are getting crazy sometimes. They are very emotional because of the wind. So they were thinking, and later on, a year later, Maciek just approached me with that idea, and I said, "This is great," and I was in love with that idea immediately. Also because I felt like it might be a big change for me, because before that film I was sticking to one way of presenting stories. It was based on interviews with characters rather than following them in more documentary approach. So that was that's why I decided to try with that documentary work.
Yeah. And what was the filming process like? Did you have a big crew? How long did you stay in that town following your characters?
It was quite long process. The whole production took about 5 years. We were working in very small, very limited crew, knowing that it would be very important to be accepted by our characters, of course. Then it was crucial that we are very mobile, so we can reach almost all important parts of that area where we were working, where we were shooting. So it had to be small crew, and yeah, so it's most of it is in near to Zakopane city, which we can call kind of ski resort of Poland. This is very well-known city in Poland, Zakopane, and a lot of people also know that Halny, when Halny comes, things are changing.
Yeah, I mean, the film is so minimalistic, yet so moving. And there's no narrator for this like remarkable documentary, because people facing constant battle against the elements speak for themselves, I guess. I just wonder, like, how did you manage to find this specific way of telling the story? Because I guess like a lot of documentaries, documentary filmmakers would just put a narrator, right, to explain what's happening, to narrate over, the entire thing, or we just get people to like talk to the camera. How did you find this way of doing things?
Thank you for that question, because that was the most important part of whole process. We were, from the very beginning, we were speaking a lot how to do it, and feeling on a very early stage that it should be done in different way, in that sense that it should give you a feeling, some kind of feeling that you are not very close, but close enough to feel what characters are feeling, what they are going through. So that was one of the reasons. But also, I think it was very important. It was from the very beginning important that instead of listening about the wind, we will be able to become part of narration somehow. So I was avoiding to the last week of editing, I was avoiding that concept, that idea to engage narration or interviews, because I think it is always difficult when you speak with someone, especially about something spectacular. It is very difficult if you have very good interview, very good, very the character with presence on the screen. It is very difficult to, after that or during that conversation, to show real footage of what he's talking about. Sometimes, so I thought it will be very it will complicate the whole storytelling in that project. And I felt it will be more credible also if we are reducing, if we are trying to let people forget about that fact that it is filmed. Of course, everyone knows that he is watching film, but I think that's how all that started while we were pitching that project during one festival. I guess it was Lisbon, in Lisbon. I think then we decided that we have to have that second part of title. So we will speak about documentary thriller. And knowing that we, of course, there is no such a thing as a documentary thriller, but we felt like it has to be our goal. I thought that it's very important to reduce a lot, to keep it very simple, and and let people live with characters, and then it's very hard to imagine thriller with narration, because it will be very, very old style film.
That's true. That's true. I wonder if you were also under the effects of that wind. Did you also lose your mind, I guess, during filming?
That's a very tricky thing with that wind. You know, you never know when it will touch you. So, I think I was quite immune, but later, but finally, when we were filming probably the third wind, and when I was in the middle, when there were so many hard decisions to make, I started to feel huge headache, and I couldn't sleep that night. It was very hard, but it was not that bad. I think now I don't know why, but now, few years later, I feel more somehow it is harming me more than it was doing it before. I don't know, maybe it's just I just see it that way, but somehow I feel that during filming it was not such a big problem.
Mhm.
But you know, I live very far from Polish mountains, but for people living there, sometimes it can be very difficult. So you can see that, I guess, I hope, in the film. Anyway, there was a lot of difficult situations. We were not touched by the wind itself. I mean, it was not changing our minds or making us, no one was getting crazy, but we had several difficulties while we were shooting. So with falling trees and very powerful blasts of the wind. So when we were going just you know, climbing or going down from one peak, we were falling down all the time with cameras and stuff and gear because of the power of that wind. But we got fantastic shots. So
That is
everyone
quite
understood.
true. That is quite true.
Everyone understood how important it is to be inside of that wind. So we knew the risk. But, you know, today I think we were a bit crazy.
Yeah, there are some characters who go, you know, crazy, but you also have a character who is a poet, and she's very touched by, you know, the beauty of the forest and the mountains. I just wonder how you got to those specific characters, because they're so different. I found them fascinating, especially the poet, like I said.
That research during development period was very long. And I think we started filming with all of characters. On the beginning, there were about 13 or 12 characters. And with some of them, I was stopping the filming quite quickly. With some of them, I followed till the end. But and I decided to choose that method. Of course, I think no one felt somehow harmed when he was excluded. But I was talking with everyone, explaining why it happens that way. So, and speaking about Teresa, the poet, I think she's incredible persona. You know, she is she is the most beautiful example of human-nature relation, in my opinion, that I met. And it happened to meet with her because of thanks to Bartek Solik, the cinematographer, who lives in Zakopane town. So he one time a few years ago he met her, and when we were speaking about possible characters that I would love to see in that project, in that film, when I was saying that it will be great to see someone who is somehow impersonating the concept of the wind. So someone who is somehow very windy, but who is not deranged, who is not ill, but because then it will be there will be a lot of risks also for me as a director, for him as a character. So that's how I got to Teresa, and I think she was really she was very helpful, not really knowing it. So when she decided, when we somehow convinced her to be just natural, to be herself, and yeah, so that's one of the best characters in that project, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for being with us today. I love your film. I'm sure everyone's gonna love it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you a lot. I hope, especially in a location where film will be presented, I guess the winds are also visitors. So I hope you will feel it also. And I hope you have a fantastic screening.
Yes, cheers. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.